How far would you go just to get some PR for yourself? Would you lie about your income? Would you pay for one of those like fake awards or to put yourself on the front cover of a fake magazine? Or would you dress yourself up as a humanitarian and, you know, doing whatever you can for the world and helping people, all in the name of PR, but actually not giving a shit? Like, how far would you go? Because this week I found some crazy things that entrepreneurs do just to put themselves up there, you know, and make out that there's some really good humans, they're really successful at business, all in the name of PR. So stay tuned, I'm gonna give you my lessons of this week and my biggest bullshit of the week. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned this week is about people's priorities when it comes to growing a business. Now, I've really realized that there's still so much focus on trying to grow your brand online over actually legitimately growing your business. Now, you'd think that most people want to successfully grow their business, get more revenue, increase their team, grow a bigger brand, and actually become a more profitable, successful business. But actually, the priorities are all about what they look like online. So more people are interested in growing their personal brand, so it's all about themselves rather than the company brand, than actually growing a legitimate business. So they are prioritizing increasing their following count, increasing engagement, and then hopefully landing some brand deals online, even though that doesn't actually help them grow their business. And the problem is there's just so much content around this online. For example, watching this on YouTube, I'm sure that your algorithm will push videos that help you grow on YouTube. Most of my feed talks about how do you grow on YouTube, how to go viral on YouTube, how to monetize on YouTube. Those are the biggest videos that the platform pushes out because it makes sense. Like, YouTube's going to want people to use YouTube more, so therefore that sort of content we pushed. Same as on LinkedIn. All the people who are going viral on LinkedIn and getting the most engagement are the ones who talk about how to grow on LinkedIn. And it's the same on Instagram, it's the same on TikTok, and it's just how social media algorithms work. So when people are bombarded with this level of content, it makes sense because all they're thinking about is growing on these social media platforms because that's all people seem to be talking about. But they're not really realizing, how does this grow their brand? And how does this actually, you know, help boost their business in the long run? The problem is it doesn't. And I'm wondering how long this is going to last, because what I'm trying to build in my members club is all about the in-person connection. I'm running so many in-person events because I'm trying to bring people offline and build real connections. I believe that you need to have in-person connections to be able to grow real relationships and grow your brand. And I'm all about finding those people who do want that. And obviously a lot of people do want that, but a lot of people don't want that. And I need to try and find the people who do want that. I know that it's been January when I'm trying to run events, and that's obviously a very difficult time because it's supposed to be the worst month of the year. So I'm kind of learning this all as I go along. But what it's made me realize is that I want to really focus down on those people who do really cherish in-person real connections and are not just open to growing their brand for the sake of vanity metrics. And I think the overall lesson for me is that your target audience is only a tiny proportion of who's out there. I think people are so focused on trying to reach as many people as possible. I see people talk about the reach and the algorithm and showing it to fewer people, but how many people genuinely need 6 figures of people to reach every single day to be able to grow their business? Most people only need a handful of people to be able to grow their business. We really need to focus down on who's actually important. And I think for me, I kind of also been sucked into the bullshit. And so realizing this and realizing people's intentions has made me realize that I want to focus on those very few people out there who are really interested in making those real deep in-person connections. So if that's you, please hit me up because I'd love to hear from you. I've also been talking a lot about PR this week. So I'm running a cohort on content and PR with an amazing journalist called Priscilla Palara, and we've been doing some online events this week. So we've been getting feedback about the content we've been talking about. And what I've realized again is that people are more interested in getting featured in magazines, saying they've been on Forbes magazine or, you know, or on the cover of something, or even just a feature in the BBC. To them, that's really important. They're not realizing that actually does that have a massive impact on the business? And the time, effort and money they put into getting those pieces, they could have been spending on actually winning clients for their business. But to them, that's really, really important. And I do get that it adds some gravitas and everything like that to it. But I realise that people are so heavily focused on this. Again, one of my lessons is that while we're trying to build our cohorts, we originally did have a PR cohort, a separate content cohort. We are now building that together because there is a big crossover. People are trying to create content, but inevitably they're doing it to land good PR. And there's definitely a big crossover. And I've realized that content is not going away. I'm sitting here in front of a camera recording this content for you because so many people are asking for more content. People are digesting so much per day, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So we are really focusing on this, but helping people create content that's more impactful, more meaningful, and speaks really to the target audience and not just to anyone and everyone, hoping that it reaches more people. Fewer people, but better people is so much more important. And I think my last lesson has been the most important, and I've known this before, but I think it really hit home this week. And it's that people don't want to pay for things. And I know, as I said, it's January, it's the start of the year, and everyone's broke at the beginning of the year, and people don't want to pay for things. We're in the middle of a cost of living crisis and everything's going up. I get that. But I think that we're in this weird culture of value. Now, I spoke on my solo podcast, Sniffing at the Bullshit, and I did an episode called Value Bullshit, which is all around this. Are we giving away too much value online? For example, I'm doing this YouTube video for free. I've got a whole YouTube channel for videos for free. So do many people. Then I put posts on my LinkedIn every single day. I put posts on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm constantly doing free classes, free webinars, things like that. So are so many people. Are we constantly giving away so much value, because that's apparently what you should be doing, and consistently, that people then are just not willing to pay for stuff? Because why would they? If there's so much value online, what is the point of paying for something? I've really noticed this when I'm running events. I charge for my events because I think it improves the turn-up rate. I think when I've had free events before, people would sign up and then just never turn up. Now, when you pay for an event, people are more likely to turn up, and that's better for the people who are speaking, and it's better for the host, everything like that. And I've been inviting people to some paid events recently, and they've said they've been busy and they can't do it. And then I decided to comp a few tickets just to see and say, oh, actually now we've got some sponsors, and therefore I'm able to waive some of these tickets prices. And suddenly people are available and can come. So I don't think it was that they weren't available or they weren't interested in the event. They obviously think the event's worth their time. It's just not worth their money. So what does that mean? Is that anything to do with the event? I could reflect and think, right, that means I'm not offering enough value for money in the event. I don't think it's that. I think that people are just not used to paying for something. So when something seems like it's for free, then they think, okay, that's great, even though it's the same amount of time that's been put into it. And they're not willing to hand over hard-earned cash because it's just not what we're used to anymore. So the question is, if you're trying to build a business where at the end of it, you're selling a course or you're selling events, how much are you giving away for free? How much are you willing to give away before offering a paid option? Because once you start offering that paid option, are people going to be willing to pay for it? Because this is something I'm massively reflecting on. And I think if you want to know more, definitely tune into that Sniffing at the Bullshit episode, which I'll put a link to in the show notes below, because I think there's a lot to reflect on, even for myself. I think I'm going to go back and rewatch my own episode. So I've seen a lot of bullshit this week. We are full into 2025 now, and I think people are ramping up their sales and marketing techniques. And so all of the bullshit's coming out. But the one that really got me this week is, oh God, I can't even believe this happened, is faking charitable campaigns and, pretending that you are frontline on something big to make yourself look like you're a good human. Now, I know plenty of people have run events in the past and called them charity events and taken money. Honestly, I think that's stealing, to be honest. People say it's PR, whatever, or they might give a portion of it to charity and they keep the rest. I don't like it. Now, there's a lot of people who are claiming they donate money to X causes and they leave a link and say, we've just donated this much money, you should also do the same thing too. Again, it's to portray themselves as a nice human and people think, what a good person. This week, I saw a lot of people talking about the Ukraine aid and charity drives and all that sort of stuff, which is a fantastic cause. And so many people, and there's registered charities, driving over vehicles to help Ukraine, and they're going over the borders and coming from the UK all the way to Ukraine and donating a lot of their time and money and various different things to the cause. And there are some people I know who've been part of the campaign and they've done really amazing work and they've been front line of it, and I've seen some of the footage and it's been phenomenal. And then there are others who have seen this footage on social media and thought, ooh, it would look really good for me to pretend that I've done that, because it will put me in a position of like, oh, I'm a really good person. And I'll just steal some of those photos, take some stock images of the Ukraine, and then just like, you know, pretend that I've done that too and make up some story, and it's really heartfelt, and then pretend that I've donated, and actually some people have donated, but then put a link and then say that you've just been spending all your time doing it. And it's been making me feel a bit sick. Now, the people who I've seen doing this, they're already unscrupulous. They're doing all sorts of dodgy PR tactics anyway, and they've been manufacturing all their engagement. So it doesn't surprise me, but it just shows you the level of bullshit that people will go to. They will fake absolutely everything about their life. They haven't got anything to show for it, so therefore they have to do this sort of thing. And for me, it's becoming more obvious to spot the bullshit, because the people who are really out there, they're constantly showing all the things they're doing. They've constantly got real footage and so much of it. The ones who have got a photoshopped picture, one obscure image, or one thing that looks like a stock, and then the feedback is usually really generic and, you know, vague and just things that people wouldn't necessarily know. Or there's too many stories about people that don't really exist and there's no actual evidence of them. That's when you know that it's bullshit. And I've seen so much of it lately, and I just wouldn't trust these people with a barge pole. And it's really highlighting who these people are. And if you're ever worried about being conned by someone because it sounds too good to be true, please feel free to write to me and ask for a second opinion. I will do some investigating, because this is what I've had to do recently. I've had to delve into it, and there is a lot of bullshit out there. So you do need to stay safe. Otherwise, I've had a great week. I'm so excited for 2025, and I hope that some of these lessons help you, and some of this bullshit of the week helps you stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.